21 minutes after the hour on the Michael Medved Show with my friend Rick Santorum. He's always been a public servant before he went to the House, before he went to the U.S. Senate, and now after his Senate career as a senior fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center and president of Empower Media. Rick Santorum, you've also been a public servant in terms of trying to help our mutual friend Norm Coleman, the senior senator from Minnesota, hold on to his Senate seat. You just came back from Minnesota, as I understand. What's going on?
Well, it's funny. This is a race that Norm Coleman was ahead every step of the way until the politicians decided to get into it and play, this panel that reviewed all these issues surrounding the recount. The head of the panel, the Secretary of State, there really had his thumb on the scale, if you know what I mean, when you're weighing the groceries, and just enough to tilt it from an election that after the official, the numbers were counted again in the precincts. They had all these issues of missing ballots and absentee ballots that should have been counted that weren't counted, and found ballots and all these types of issues.
You found a bunch of ballots in a car somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there was all these kinds of issues out there, and every step of the way, this is the most incredible thing. Every step of the way, the decisions made by this panel benefited Franken. Every single one of them. Now, in a race this close, you're going to have ebbs and flows. But for every question out there to come down in favor of Franken, and as a result come down in favor of him moving, a few votes closer to taking over Coleman's lead and eventually surpassing him, it's just, you got your finger, it's the butcher with the finger on the scale. So what we're trying to do is get the finger off the scale, let the scale read, what the true, decision was by the voters of Minnesota, which means let's have a single standard for absentee ballots. Not some counties get to include some ballots under certain circumstances, and other counties, exclude those very same infirmities with absentee ballots that happen to be beneficial to Coleman, and the counties that were beneficial to Franken, they counted them, and the other places they didn't. Or when you had the situation of double counted ballots, there's a very simple issue. Yet they messed it up.
When is the decision supposed to come down on this?
Well, they're actually in court today. They've been in court for a few days now, and they are, Coleman is putting on his case right now. Franken will have the opportunity to put on his case. Coleman's case is very simple. Let's have a single standard for everything. Let's have all the votes that should be counted and be counted under the same standard. Franken's going to make the opposite. Well, the things are fine just the way they are, and don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. So I'm hopeful that this three-judge panel, a Democrat, a Republican, and an independent, appointed. When I say that, they were appointed by governors who were one an independent, one a Democrat, one a Republican governor. That this panel will side on with Norm probably sometime in the next week or so, once the evidence is all in. And if that's the case, then Senator Coleman has asked this three-judge panel to actually review these absentee ballots. If they side with Coleman on the missing ballots, if they side with Coleman on the double counted ballots, this will be pretty much a dead heat race going into the counting the absentees, and we feel with a single standard we'll end up on top.